All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, as promised, we will deliver. We're going to have a look at Metal Gear Rising. PC port specifically. Right, so this is what it looks like. You won't see a frame rate counter up, but I do have one running. So I will keep you apprised of what the frame rate is like. And do let me know if the sound levels are off, and I'll try and adjust those for you. Am I crackling? Oh, fucking Twitch. You'd think that they'd fix that. It's actually not Twitch, it's XSplit. Give me a sec. I'll fix that. Well, actually, that's just one guy that said it. Am I actually crackling on the voice? Intro. Fucking bullshit. I thought I'd fixed that. Apparently not. Give me a sec. Alright, so it actually wasn't crackling at all. Great. Okay. So people are just bullshitting. Right. Okay, so yes, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance came out last year on PS3 and Xbox 360. And it was damn good. I didn't beat it. I haven't got around to that yet. I don't have the time to beat games these days, but I did get about 5 hours into Metal Gear Rising, I think, which is actually most of the way through the game, and it's pretty fantastic. PC port for this was unexpected, but welcome. The question is whether or not the PC port is any good. Alright, so it does have a graphics options menu. There are some problems with this menu. The first one is that if you change the resolution, it does it immediately. The reason you shouldn't do that is because it takes ages to cycle through the resolution option you actually want. It does have some resolution options, it's a little limited. On the way up from 720p windowed, which is what it defaults to for some inexplicable reason, it happens to go through, I think, a couple of 16:9s. It also has 1680x1050, so it's a pretty standard 16:10 resolution. But it does seem to be lacking in some of the more common 16:10 resolution options. So that's something to bear in mind there. That's something that may be editable potentially. No, there's no drop-down menu. You have to click on it, and then you click this or press the arrow key, and it will change the resolution every time you click, which is dumb, and you should never do that, by the way. Graphical quality has low, medium, and high presets, as well as custom. The customs are affected by this lot here. So AA, currently have MSAA times 8 on. If we run into any problems, we will knock that down, because that is a little high. But from what I can tell, this game's texture quality seems to be the same as the 720p version on console. So I have a feeling that, assuming they ported it properly, my Titan should eat it for breakfast, but it's hard to say. Plus, I'm also streaming in 60 frames per second, so that's going to be a bit of a load on the computer. It may be that I won't be able to stream in 60 FPS, by the way. It's something that I'll try. I've done it before, and it's worked fairly well, but it's hard to say. Aside from that, you got Zenkaki, as well as Zantime and Shadow. These are all gameplay-related stuff. This is a little bit weird. It's like, adjust the time something remains after being severed. So, it's just clutter, I guess. Doodads. Zankeki adjusts the number of slices that can be performed on an enemy and object. I don't really know why that's a graphics option. That's a little strange. Yeah, it might be particle effect related. Aside from that, camera, vertical and horizontal can be done to normal and inverted, which is to be expected. Sensitivity options are only 10 different presets, which is not the best thing ever. Also, when you click backwards, it doesn't fucking work. So, it goes up regardless of what you do there. So that's pretty stupid. You can, however, change it with the keyboard, but not the mouse when clicking backwards. God knows why that is. Okay, standard controller settings for Xbox 360 controller. As you can see, key config is available with rebindables. And they look pretty playable. So you got WAS and D as to be expected. Tab is for walking, for stealth, mostly. Space is jump, light attack and strong attack. So it's exactly what you would expect for a character action game on a PC. It's very, very common. There are some kind of weird ones, like they still have the weapon select screen, which they really shouldn't. They don't need that, because we have more buttons than that, but they have that anyway. So you're probably going to have to deal with that. The UI is not that great. Okay, so yeah, that's the options menu. It's pretty bare bones, honestly. I was hoping for better than that, but never mind. Alright, let's go to story. As for this FOV slider bullshit, as usual with your meme crap, no. You don't need a FOV slider in a third-person game. Everybody knows that. Especially since it's not an over-the-shoulder game. Alright, Metal Gear Rising. Let's begin, shall we? Funnily enough, I can't actually remember how to play the game, but we'll skip the tutorial anyway. I'm sure I'll pick up on it. Yeah, I'm not really sure how the blade time thing is going to work. I do have a controller plugged in, so if it ends up being that way, then so be it. So cutscenes seem to be locked at 30 frames per second, which is fine. I mean, it's a cutscene. That's not a big deal. There's also a lot of film grain on this cutscene.
Years. We've come so far in just 3 short years.
The sign of a strong leader, sir.
No. The will of a strong people. And one very able advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Your team deserves credit as well.
Quite surprised to see that it lets you just have a cursor on the screen during a cutscene. That's a little bit weird.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Usually you'll turn that off.
I must admit, I once thought of groups like yours as opportunists, enablers of war. But you've trained our new army well. Order has returned sooner than expected. Perhaps I was wrong about these private military companies.
We prefer private security providers, sir. Most of Maverick's contracts do focus on security.
Alright,
Yes,
question I
well,
suppose here is whether or not we can
security
skip this.
many things.
Jesus, the texture on that is pretty bad. But it is a cutscene, so it's not that important. But texture
There's
quality
a
in general
saying.
is piss poor so far.
One sword keeps another in the sheath. Sometimes the threat of
Yes, you can skip. Okay, cool.
violence alone is a deterrent.
Bearing in mind, it's a Metal
Sometimes by
Gear game,
taking
so
a
there's
life,
quite a lot of cutscenes,
others
although
can be
less than you
preserved.
might expect.
It's the code the samurai lived by.
A soldier and a philosopher. You are full of surprises, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
I could say the same about you, Mr. Prime Minister.
That voice acting. Oh, Kojima.
What is happening?
Someone's blocking the lead vehicle.
Yeah,
Hold
the
on.
texture quality is the same as on the console, which is actually really disappointing, because the texture resolution should be a hell of a lot higher, and they certainly didn't make the textures in kind of 720p stuff to begin with. So, yeah, that's not too great. Have a look at my cyborg ass. Look at that. My big red sword.
I said clear the road! We're authorized to use force if you do!
He has a sword, he's probably going to attack you, bear that in mind. But what I will say is the cutscenes are fucking awesome. So, there's that. Oh yeah.
Leopard 1, U-turn. Turning back.
Yeah, as Dodgelink kind of pointed out, this could actually just be a big video file from the console version, and it may not actually be rendering. Although it seems unlikely considering you see a mouse cursor, so that indicates to me that the cutscene is rendering.
Open fire!
By default, I'm going to play keyboard and mouse, and if that doesn't end up working out well, I'll switch to controller.
Courtney, what is happening?
We got hit, sir. A cyborg.
Who's?
XF comes up unaffiliated.
I'll notify all checkpoints. Get on money out of there.
Yes, sir.
I think this cutscene goes on for another few minutes at least.
We are going to die.
Stay calm.
He's got friends on our 12.
Raiden,
I'm on it. Guard the Prime Minister.
Alright, I think we actually get to slice some fools up for a little bit. Fucking love this bit. Yeah, I mean, you can really notice that the graphical fidelity is pretty weak. I mean, obviously you're watching a stream, so it's a bit more difficult to determine the texture quality, but I can see what the texture quality is like, and it's not incredible. Alright, let's see if it actually changes in the game. There we go. Alright. Okay, so the game is running at 60 FPS locked by the looks of it, which is to be expected. A little bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping that they would allow 120 frames per second, but it's definitely not the worst thing ever. Alright, the mouse control is really slow. I might have to turn that sensitivity way up. There we go. Alright.
Take self-repair units from your foes to replenish your own supply. Driver, the limo is in trouble. Get back there.
Let's have a quick look at textures.
I'll add the limo.
Yep, those are console quality, alright. Yeah, the textures don't get any better. Alright, so they basically just used the console textures and ported them right over, which is really disappointing. That sucks. Controls seem for the most part to work fine, although again, I think I need to vastly increase the mouse quality here. Let's up sensitivity both vertical and horizontal to 8. On default, it's really, really slow with the actual mouse. It takes forever to rotate the camera, which is not what you want in a game like this. I do appreciate... There we go, that's a little bit better. It kind of feels like there's a bit of mouse acceleration. It's hard to say. It might just be the camera. It's hard to determine whether or not mouse acceleration is actually on most of the time. But yeah, it does seem like there is some mouse acceleration. Aside from that, game is running at a rock solid 60. It seems like I don't know if I'm managing to maintain that on the stream. I'll have to check that later. Hopefully I am. Blade mode. Just, whoa, what the fuck? Let's just say that blade mode with the mouse is really not exactly what you would expect. I'll try to clear these enemies out. I'm deliberately letting myself get hit here, by the way, because I want to try and show the blade mode with the mouse. So, left click does a horizontal slice, this does a vertical slice. Free blade mode is moved around with the mouse, and it's just awful. Yeah, that does not work all that well at all. You kind of sort of wave it around in a general direction. If you want to be precise, then good luck. You can't do that with the mouse. I kind of expected this might be a problem, but it's more of a problem than I hoped. The standard combat seems to work fine. Blade mode, not so much. Which is unfortunate, because Blade mode's hilarious and lets you do things like this. Slicey, slicey! That, interestingly enough, actually lowered the frame rate. I have a feeling that chopping them up into tiny pieces may have... Yeah, that's actually dropping frames when I do that. So, that option, by the way, that we saw earlier, this one. Let's see. It was under graphics config. So, Zinkaki and Zantime actually will drop it below 60. So, it might... We're going to knock... Oh, wow, this is only... Oh, there we go. Medium. So, we're going to put medium on both of those, because that actually does drop the frame rate down. I'm just checking my frames drop, by the way, and it claims that I'm definitely streaming out at 60. Haven't dropped a frame yet. Or at least on the actual streaming software. Is my sound level okay, by the way? It does seem like the game will be a bit loud. Please let me know in chat before I continue. It does tank like that on console, by the way. I tried it. When I was playing it on PS3, if you sliced up an enemy too much, you could absolutely affect the frame rate. So I'm going to knock that down to medium. Everything else is rock solid. I mean, I am running MSA 8x8 and 16 times anisotropic. So, you know, I'm putting a decent amount of load in it, and I'm streaming at 60 frames per second. So, the fact that it's actually staying at 60 is reasonably impressive, but one should bear in mind that all we're really seeing here, from what I can tell, is an upscaled 720p. There we go. I also need to remember how to do counters. I can't remember. Do you get counters first?
If you can't cut through the barricade, try the fence, eh?
That's one of my most favorite things about this game, is just the fact that you can slice that up. So yeah, I mean, my conclusion on the actual controls is that the standard combat works fine once you up the mouse sensitivity, but aside from that, you're gonna want to use a pad. And cutscenes are at 60 FPS. Be expected. Because fuck you, that's why. Yeah, it's upscale textures like in Dark Souls from what I can tell. It doesn't look any better. Well, it does look better than the console version because of AA and anisotropic, but that's about it. It looks like the console version. Pretty much a straight port. Yes, I fucking love this guy. To be fair, I love all the cutscenes in this game. This is one of those games where I'll absolutely accept there being cutscenes. They're just that good. I have a giant pair of scissors. Look at me. It may be that the weird thing is, like, the game's 24 gigs. It seems like there'd be uncompressed textures in there. It's just not using them. So, there may very well be fixes. But, unlike Dark Souls, it's not unplayable dreck. So, that I will give it credit for. I'm gonna switch over to controller.
Jack.
What do you want with the Prime Minister?
I want him dead. Nothing personal, of course. Africa's just getting a bit too peaceful.
Alright.
What?
Hopefully it shows the keys in
Business
controller
ain't been
now.
the same since they shut down SOP. A clean break from the war economy.
Damsel in distress trope.
Well, some of us like that economy.
Lovely.
How's an
Lovely.
honest warmonger supposed to make a living?
This is your answer?
As far as I'm aware, there are no damsels in distress in this game. Unless you count Raiden.
Don't do it!
Don't worry now. I won't. Not while he's still useful.
The voice acting is comically hilarious.
So long.
Also, yes, now you fight that. This is the first boss in the game, and one of the smallest. Is there an option for... Don't believe so. Let me just double check. Actually, there might be. But right now, in-game, you can't change it. So I'd probably have to go back to the menu. If I go back to Japanese, that might be the way to do it. Why is the cursor on the screen? Is it in-game as well? No, it's not. Okay. I'll give him credit for that.
Signal that UMG and get after it.
There's some really weird stuff going on with the controls.
Use your ninja run to deflect those shots. They swapped out the hydraulic cutter for a blade can. Use blade mode to damage its armor. Use the ninja run to dodge the
Slicey. There we go. Yeah, this works a hell of a lot better with the analog stick, as you might imagine. There we go. Okay, well, that helps. Right, I sort of remember how to play now. Definitely can't say that I'm doing too well. Certainly not, but I've played this game deliberately well. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable with the controller, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's because they screwed the controls up. I think there is the possibility that they screwed up the mouse acceleration, and that's something that needs to be fixed. But aside from that, it's really all they could do. Because these third-person character action games or spectacle fighters just don't work as well on a console. So that's to be expected. Knock out one of the legs. There we go. Spicy. Oh, blade mode is the most fun. God, I just love that. It is the most satisfying mechanic in a spectacle fight that I've seen in a long time. Oh, God. Look at it! There's so many pieces just came off that bastard. Yeah, but at medium, that doesn't hit the frame rate. At high, it seems like it does. Those look like they might explode. We might want to keep away from that. Okay. Apparently, in-game sound is a bit high now. All right, let me adjust that for you. Just a sec. Yeah, if there's any streaming issues, by the way, frame rate-wise, that's actually on Twitch's end, because I've currently encoded 90,000 frames and dropped 0. So, if you're not getting full 60 FPS, that's because of Twitch. Alright, I'm gonna slice a good 10-20% off the volume here. And we'll continue. Do let me know if it's too loud. I'd rather the game be too quiet than too loud, always. So just bear that in mind. Okay, standing there was a pretty stupid idea. Let's not do that again. Take off his legs, see if he gets angry. There you go. God, I love blade mode. I'm actually kind of happy to be able to play this on PC, even if it isn't actually all that improved from the console. Just because I like playing things on PC. But I'm disappointed that there's no real benefit to it. That said, the game is also like $24, so... Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. And the music for this game is sodding fantastic. Worth bearing that in. Oh, yes, now I remember why I love this thing. Fuck yes. That's the first boss. You have no idea.
Very good. But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
Combat rank A. Disappointing. Could have done a lot better than that. I'm just getting used to the game again. It's been a while since I played it. It's a similar reason why I love stuff like... What the hell was it? Damn, I can't remember the name of it now. That's really disappointing. Remember that game I played a long time ago with the angriest man in the universe? That game. And you have no idea. Like, this is the basic Raiden. And he's like, well, why doesn't he look like in the menu? Because you'll find out in a... I think in a few minutes. I don't know how long it goes on before the thing happens, which causes him to become more cybernetic than he was previously. But, yeah. So, Ninja Run is really, really nice because the platforming in this game is basically non-existent. You just hold the button and you run really fast and you do awesome shit, which is great. It's focused purely on fighting, pretty much like every other Platinum game. Or slicing things. It's like, oh, there's an obstacle? Well, we could have you jump over that. Or you could just slice it into pieces. Which is clearly the right answer. Asura's Wrath, that's the one, yeah. That was amazing in that respect. The thing is, this is actually a game, whereas Asura's Wrath is a set of QTEs. They're very good QTEs, don't get me wrong, but they're still a set of QTEs. Camera's a lot easier to control with the right mouse stick. With the right... What is a right mouse stick? Oh, yeah. There's that. They have another one. I forgot to mention that.
It still works?
Fun times. Here we go. Might want to not be anywhere near that thing. Oh, okay, you can't. Right, I guess you have to jump it then. No. Huh. Okay. Lol. I can't actually remember how you beat that. Huh. It's been a while. Yeah, it is the same guy. We did slice it right down the middle, and it didn't make a damn bit of difference. I think maybe I have to go to the full right side. Can you jump it? Possibly. Well, I took damage from it anyway, so... Maybe you just have to stop it with blade mode before it fires, otherwise you take damage. Seems like a possibility. What the? Oh, yes. Cut missiles out of the air. Because fuck you, that's why. I guess you can jump in. You gotta be a bit more careful. Whoa! Okay, there we go. Getting used to it again. Blade mode is not the right option here. Neither was standing under his fist. Uh-oh. Missiles, missiles, missiles. Oh, Christ, more missiles. Go. All right. Slicey, slicey. There we go. Sweet. And then kick it, obviously, because why not? We have a sword, but I'm thinking kicking it might be the best option. Oh, Christ. There we go. I only have, 5% life. That's ugly. Yeah, I might have to do this thing again. I messed up the first couple of sections pretty badly. And I'm on 0.8% life, which is not good!
What is going on?
Oh.
Dragon, answer me! Dragon! Damn it!
Let's try that again, shall we?
That damn you cheat. It still works?
Eventually, I remember how to play properly. Absolutely love the fighting system, though. It's basically perfection. If you can jump that, I don't know how, because I can't seem to get high enough to get over it. So I must be missing something obvious there. Slicey, slicey. Get the armor off. The direction you slice does matter, by the way, for those asking. If you want to shred the armor as effectively as possible, you want to shred in the right direction. Particularly important later on. Okay, he's at 41%. That's fine. Alright, missiles.
Use blade mode to take down those heavy missiles.
There we go. Alright. Next missiles, I think, are the ones that land on the ground. We can probably hit them a few more times first. Oh, hello. Missed that one completely. For those of you wondering, by the way, this is not a game about dodging for the most part. A lot of this game is actually parrying. So you're not jumping out of the way, you've got to parry the attacks that come in at you. I do wonder if it will be possible to unlock this to 120 FPS, because I know my PC can definitely handle it. No, this is not the place to be. Why did I even stand there? I am a moron. Come on. Alright. Time for hilarious thing. Yeah! Because why the hell not? Oh, platinum, never change. Please. No, seriously, never. Never change. I love you so much. And this, which no is not a cutscene at all. Yes, yes. But yes, it is not a part of the main Metal Gear series. It is very much a spin-off. And also Metal Gear lore is terrible. So. C rank. That was pathetic. I could have done a hell of a lot better than that. I think it's dead. Yeah. Also, why do I even have vibration on? I should probably turn that off. What's up? Yeah, you definitely should want it. Like, this is the basic stuff. With none of his actual interesting weapons or abilities. It gets a hell of a lot better than this.
He's headed for the front of the train. After him.
But yeah, the game is super fun and was on... I got it on PlayStation 3, and it's one of the console games that I played the most last year. Like, it really only lost out to Wonderful 101, which I think is better only on the virtue that it's more original. Because, you know, a lot of the stuff that is in this game is passé and has been done previously, but being done as well as this, that's a different matter entirely.
Too little too late, hero. I won't be needing my little shield here.
Yeah, all the DLC is in this version, so you get the Blade Wolf missions and everything like that. It's all in the version for free.
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose?
Raiden, forget me. Stop him.
You ain't listening.
Yeah, everything's included, unless there's some DLC that I don't know about. It's all in this version.
All we're saying.
Bear in mind you can skip all the cutscenes, but I just don't understand why you would want to, because they're all awesome. But if you want to skip the cutscenes, you can. You just hit escape and click skip. Easy as that. Oh yes, the acting is absolutely awful. It's wonderful. The only time I don't skip cutscenes is in Platinum games, because they're that good. Tend to make things fun. You ready to have your ass handed to you by this guy? Because holy shit! Whoa, 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 what the hell? Hang on a second, what happened there? That was weird. It all tabbed as soon as that scene started. Alright, it's back in now. Cool. Yeah, so by the way, you're supposed to lose this. For those of you wondering. As far as I'm aware, it's impossible to win it. Could be wrong. But yeah, you are very much supposed to lose this scene. But I'm going to try just for the sake of it. As far as I'm aware, you're not even able to parry before you actually get your upgrades.
Self-taught. And not half bad. Still.
You can't... Well, there's no blocking in this game. There's only parrying.
Your technique lacks something.
And I don't think you can parry yet, anyway. I'm pretty sure you've got to get past this and, like, get your upgrades before you can do anything like that. Apparently I can parry before upgrades. I'm not sure how you do that, though. Just looking at these to see if there's any indicators there. Can't remember how you do it. I probably should have done the tutorial. Yeah, the enemy does not have a health bar, so I don't think it's possible to do anything in this one. This is just supposed to happen, so...
Now I see. You deny your weapon its purpose. It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back.
No. My sword is a tool of justice.
Are you ready to see horrible things happen to our hero? Yes, they will!
Are you all right? You're almost clear of the tunnel. Just hang on.
Goodbye! Gotta try hard at that.
This will not go well for us.
Did you want to practice first? This is what happens when you bring a tool to a sword fight. It's over. Lucky devil.
Kept you waiting, huh?
He's had worse.
Down you go!
Yep.
Flash!
The most common countermeasure in the universe. That was unexpected. Well, that's the thing. There we go. Yeah, not great. I could have done a hell of a lot better than that. But I'm still getting used to the game again. A rank and a C rank. For those who are wondering, BP is spent on skills, by the way. Get more BP, the better you do. Now things start to get really interesting.
How is it, Ryder?
So far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic now. Yes, I should hope so, huh? I mean, how does it feel? To fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me right?
I don't know how long I'm going to do the stream. We've pretty much come to the conclusion that we need to on this. I already know what my opinion of Metal Gear Rising is, because I've played like 6 hours of it on console, so I'll be going into the WTF today, and it will be released tomorrow, most likely. I want to play a bit more of it, just because maybe something goes wrong later down the line, but so far what it seems to be is it's a straight-up console port. You can play the default combat using the keyboard and mouse fine, but the blade mode is less accurate and more difficult to use using the keyboard and mouse. So you'll probably have to default to doing horizontal and vertical slashes only, which is not so useful. The port itself looks only marginally better than the console version because they're still using the console textures. It may be possible to use the others. Maybe someone will figure that out later down the line, but it seems like the port it works. It's better than the Dark Souls port. It's not as good as I hoped the port would be. I was hoping that this would be the definitive version. As it stands, it's really just a case of buying the same game you were playing on console and having it look slightly better. And it has the DLC as well, and it costs $30 total, so it's hard to argue with that. I mean, like, it's still very playable, but I'll spend a lot of time during the video bitching about the console port. But at least it's not that it's a bad console port, it's that it's just a straight console port, and I expect better, you know? I don't expect 720p level textures on a PC version. Especially not after it took a year to port this thing.
Andrei Dolcev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcer.
Alright, I'm gonna skip through this cutscene, if you don't mind. It takes a while.
You landed safely, Duh? First, head inland.
Alright.
The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on...
Do you like film grain? Because, boy, we've got a lot of that. Alright. So this is New Raiden with his cyborg body, as you can see. You also got you've got a codec here, which is kind of cool, actually. There's a metric ton of codec things you can do, which have all sorts of different voice acting and stories and conversations. So if you're into that kind of thing...
Raiden, shall we review the capabilities of your new body?
Copy that. Go ahead, Doc.
As we discussed, you've been outfitted with 2 revolutionary new abilities.
Fuel electrolyte absorption and self-repair from C's nanopaste.
Precisely. First, electrolyte absorption. This is simplicity itself. As your HF blade is linked directly to your fuel cells, simply cut into any source of electrolytes. Say, a hostile cyborg made up of CNT muscle fiber. And your fuel cells will recharge on their own. Rather elegant, wouldn't you say?
I would indeed. It's been great so far.
But the repair process is a bit more involved. A bit more messy, you might say. Most military cyborg models store a cache of biotic self-repair nanopaste in their lower abdomen.
So I need to slice them open and use Zandatsu to extract it. Cut and take, in other words.
Correct. Once extracted, you need only to crush this unit in your hand to absorb the repairing agent inside. Keep in mind, it is extremely delicate. If the unit should hit the ground, some paste will surely leak out. It will still repair your body, but less so than if you can retrieve it directly before your foe falls over.
Yes.
Basically,
It is that cool.
harvest
It's
their
like
organs before their body
can even hit the ground. It's just
Rather
like
gruesome,
someone somewhere in Platinum had to make an actual storyline justification for something that ridiculous.
But I've never really thought of myself as American.
Oh? Well, yes, I suppose I could understand that given your history. But what then? Surely you don't identify as a Liberian.
I don't identify with anyone. No nation, no ethnic group.
That edge.
I'm my own man.
Of course you are.
Anyway,
In this moment, he is euphoric.
Gory torture porn.
Indeed. Well,
And you can skip through all of this.
Okay.
But it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool conversations, especially with certain characters you get later on. Also, there's this cat. The cat cannot be killed, I don't think. I'm pretty sure the cat has the ability to avoid all attacks. As you can see, the cat is doing backflips. This cat. Let's go blade mode on this cat. No! Slow motion backflipping cat. Oh, I love it. I love it. Also, it's really fun to find out what you can slice, because you would be quite surprised. Yeah, you clip through the stuff. That happened on the console version as well, but the fact that you have this much destructible stuff is quite cool, I've got to say. And I think I just stopped myself from being able to progress in the mission because I sliced up the stairs. I love it. No, it's okay. Don't worry. He can do that. Cat is actually a better ninja than me. That is absolutely clear. Alright. Alright. Time to fuck up some dudes. Here we go. There you go, and that's how parry works, by the way. And also, you can do that. Oh, yes. Damn right. There are secondary weapons, by the way, so there's things like grenades, which are very much effective. Camera, for the most part, works. There is a lock-on that you can use for the camera, which is kind of helpful. I'm not sure what the default is on the controller for that. On the keyboard, it's E, which is a pretty sensible key to use. That is what I'm talking about. I think I screwed up the Zandatsu. I'm pretty sure that I could have done that better. I think you've got to do the slice at that point.
Did you feel?
With this body, I could take these guys with no eyes. Intel wasn't exaggerating on the cyborg count.
Well, you know how fast the tech's been spreading these last few years. That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb.
What enterprising soldier of fortune could resist? And cyborgs are still human. Real
thinking people. Way less risk of collateral damage than your typical UAV strike.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations start playing Frankenstein with their troops, and the public goes nuts.
PMCs, on the other hand, are off the ethical radar.
Yeah. They still don't even count PMCs in official death tolls. With SOP out of the picture, private militaries needed a new edge on the market. We got it.
In a way, cyborgs are just SOP troops
By another name, only all muscled up and less predictable.
But it makes you wonder, where'd Desperado find these guys?
I'm not complaining. They're like walking vending machines.
Right. Vending machines full of blood.
Easy there, Dracula. Like I said, they're still...
Alright, enough of that. We get rid of the talky-talky stuff. That's what I'm talking about. A little bit of S rank right there. Good. That's much better. Alright, yeah, I might actually do that tutorial. The cool thing is, if I recall correctly, you can actually jump in and out of VR missions quite easily. But I might be wrong. I thought you could just jump into VR missions without quitting the game. You used to be able to do that, right? Am I missing something here? Alright, so that's that. Okay. Yeah, switch lock on is right bumper. Okay, and it's E on the keyboard. Oh, yes, it's on the codec, isn't it? You actually have to press back, and then you go VR missions that way. There we go. There's also customize, which I think I have the points to actually get something from here. I'll check. So the progression system goes off the BR points that you've got. So you select customization point, like main weapon. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Yeah, it's 200,000 BP for it, but... And then you can get enhancements for your weapons. +1 strength. +1 energy. Absorption rate will up the strength. There we go. There's moves you can get as well. Body enhancements, life and fuel cell, and skills. These are all unlockable. So you can do crazy things like aerial parries and all sorts of awesome stuff. Which is exactly as cool as you would think it is. Is Foxblade some reference to Metal Gear that I don't understand, by the way? Because I don't really know much about Metal Gear outside of this game. Alright, I'm gonna load up the VR mission for the Zandatsu thing. I just want to remind myself of exactly what happens. These VR missions, I think they give you BP as well. There's a ton of them, too. There's like 50. I think there's even more than that. At least there was in the DLC, but... Alright, which is which? Nice if it told you. I'm just literally guessing here. I'm going to assume 3 is the right one.
Your body comes equipped with a technique we call blade mode.
Alright, well,
Let's begin by assuming the fighting position.
I've already done blade mode.
Good.
I'm hoping it shows me Zandatsu stuff.
To strike all of the targets.
There we go. I mean, all this is doing, obviously, is showing me stuff that I already know. The problem with trying the main Metal Gear Solid games is none of them are on PC outside of the original.
Toll on your fuel cells. Replenish your energy by attacking enemies. Your blade will absorb their electrolytes automatically. Try restoring your fuel cells back to maximum now. Standard cyborgs you can dismember immediately, no problem. Other foes will not fall so easily. You will first need to attack and damage them to some degree.
You couldn't do that on the console either, it was pretty annoying. Alright, so slicey. There you go. And that's how you do it. So you slice them in half, and then you grab their intestines, crush them in your hand, and that gives you a bunch of electrolytes. It's wonderful.
And now, the Zandatsu technique.
There it is.
Or the stab and grab, as some call it. Activate blade mode with full fuel cells, and you will automatically analyze the ideal cutting position. Execute it successfully, and you will seize your foe's self-repair unit and restore some of your vitality. Now, try it for yourself. Take the enemy's repair unit before he falls. Enemy sighted!
Nope, screwed that up completely, didn't I? Alright. Let's get my fuel cells back to full. So you basically have to cut in the right area. In order to make that happen properly.
Next, let's review special attacks. Approach a target from the rear or above without being noticed. And you can eliminate them with a single strike. I call it the ninja kill.
Thanks, Doc. Jackass. The dialogue in every Metal Gear game is hilarious. So yeah, there are actual stealth elements to it, but... Well, okay, they are kind of fun. Because that. That is the most excessively stupid way of killing somebody.
A word about your enhanced AR. Enhanced AR adds several layers of information to your augmented reality vision. use it for additional intel on your enemies or to see new aspects of your surroundings. Just remember, enhanced AR is automatically disabled as soon as you attack.
So that's the AR display. It's quite useful for finding pickups and things like that. Oh, blade mode. You are the best. You can use AR. It's basically a giant wall hack, so pretty useful. Yes! I'm sorry, but that is a hell of a lot of fun. And it tells you how many parts you slice them into as well. Just for the hell of it. I'm not going to pick up 150 parts, 193 body parts. There we go. I burned my entire fuel cell doing that, but it was hilarious enough to justify it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Alright, cool. So I remember how that works. But yeah, there's a lot of these missions, and you get ranked on some of them as well, so it's pretty cool. Alright, let's get back to the game. I'll play a little bit more, and then I'll wrap it up because I want to actually get my video done on it. I already know what I think about the game, because I played the original version on the console. One of those few games that I do. I mean, to be fair, if you want to play games like this, it's pretty hard to find them on PC, so I'm pretty glad something. But this text, oh, hideous. Hideous textures. Again, they could have done a hell of a lot better job there. What I am happy about is that they at least preserved that 60